This is round 8 of the ERC 2015 and we're heading to the Mediterranean Sea for the Cyprus rally. Cyprus is a challenge. It's a mixed rally with 60% gravel, 40% tarmac. Keitan Kayatanovic is leading the championship 23 points ahead of Craig Breen, who's not competing, remember, here in Cyprus. Alexei Lukyanuk is third for the time being. Well, Cyprus is the third largest island in the tourist hotspot that is the great cultural heritage of the Mediterranean. As you feast your eyes on the driver's standings, just look beyond it and at the magnificent scenery that we're going to be cutting through during this rally. Cyprus has amazing history. It's been part of the World Championship and the Intercontinental Rally Challenge in the ERC, the rally based in the capital, Nicosia. Cyprus, an amazing cultural heritage, lying in the Mediterranean south of Turkey and to the west of Syria and Lebanon. It's very beautiful. Well, leg 1 consists of 8 stages, about 60% on tarmac, but the only gravel tyres are allowed. It's hot, bone dry, and dust is often the issue. Well, starting with a leg of a loop of 4 stages, 3 of them will be repeated in the afternoon. And that amount of tarmac, saving tyres for the gravel portions, will be crucial. This is what we're dealing with. It is hot already. Which tyre will perform better on tarmac? Well, last year it was the Pirelli gravel tyre. Time to start then, just after sunup. The local driver is Panikos Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9, familiar to many of you. It's the first ERC driver on the road. Well, clean at tarmac, but has to clean the gravel portions as well. Sadly for him, crashed on stage 1. He's out. Keitan Kayatanovic. Kato is the first leading ERC driver on the road, the fastest on the qualifying stage yesterday, and chose to go 5th on the road today, signing the second fastest time on stage 1. Kato is a dramatic driver, but he keeps it very, very smooth on all surfaces. It's his level of control that means he's so good. Well, Kato through on stage 2 after the Gaffro, and 80% on tarmac on stage 2, longest stage of the rally, 22 kilometres, don't forget. But there's a lot of gravel that's been washed onto the tarmac, and it's very, very slippery out there. Well, it almost looks like a full gravel stage. Kato fastest on stage 2 and takes the lead of the rally. Robert Consardi, driving the Citroën DS3 R5, recovered well from his huge crash in the previous ERC round in the Barham Rally, you may remember. Fabulously lyrical voice of the Belgian co-driver Laura Van Est, calling the notes for Robert's brother Stefan. Well, it's a new chassis for this rally after the crash in Barham. Poor visibility, hanging dust, 5th fastest on the stage, losing about half a minute. We're still looking for the right setup for these stages, but no mistakes to this point. 3rd overall after stage 2, and 53 seconds behind the leader, Kato. Minor errors for Consani, but looking very good. Well, the Peugeot 208 T16 is in the hands of Bruno Magalesh. Often struggles with funding, but is here. Back in the ERC, poor visibility for him too. Only a 2-minute gap so far between the cars on the road. Well, he prefers 3-minute gaps, and that way you get less dust. Third fastest on stage 1 though for Bruno. Well, not perfect the setup for the combination of gravel and tarmac. Magalesh on stage 2, second fastest on this one. Climbing to second place overall though, 39.4 seconds behind Kato. Alexei Luklanyuk is a Belarusian. Well, actually he's a Russian competing on a Belarusian license. Only his second rally on gravel with the Ford Fiesta R5. Took 15th place as a road position on the road for leg 1. It means that his tarmac is really quite dusty. The gravel is being cleaned, pushes hard on the first stage, but loses power steering, sadly for him, at the end. Still fastest on stage 1, into 2 then. Really bad luck for him. Not able to solve a power steering problem on the road. And in this section, running to stage 2. No power steering during the longest stage of the rally, and that's going to hurt. Stage 2, very hard drive for him. Exhausting. And Lukianuk, we've seen 2 minutes on the stage, and sadly for him, dropping to 10th overall in the standings. And a huge gap, 1:55 behind Kato. Power steering is important. Well, if you need 2 arms to steer, you need somebody else to help you out. So Kato in a comfortable position ahead of Bruno Magalesh. This is how they stand, with Consani 53 seconds down, and then the minute ticks over with Tarabus 1:01 down, Budvalis 1:25 adrift. Well, what would life have been like with power steering? You can only assume. Lukianuk 10th. In a short while we'll be back with more from the Cyprus rally and the ERC. Stay with us. Welcome back to Cyprus for round 8 of the ERC. Kajatanovic is leading ahead of Magalesh and Consani. Lukianuk is only 10th after a power steering failure. So now for the second half of the first loop.
Do 1 prawy ciasny ciąć mega syp przechodzi 2 prawy 40, 5 prawy krótki mocno skamuje.
Well, the Polish voice announces Kajtan Kajatanovic in the Fiesta R5. Comfortable lead after Lukianuk's time loss. It'll be a long rally without strong opposition, so focus is essential. Not easy to keep your mind where you need to be in this kind of situation. And if you start to relax just for a moment and change the tempo, then you can have a big moment. And indeed, Kato had one at the end of stage 3. Nonetheless, fastest on stages 3 and 4. This is Consani, fighting for second overall with Bruno Magalesh. He's 13 seconds behind Magalesh at the start of stage 3, but had a huge spin in 3. Lost 45 seconds, dropped to 4th in the overall standings.
un peu.
That is a very cool co-driver. This is Tarabus, Jeremy, to you and me. Let's go to Fabia S2000. Neat car, neat driver as well. Switched from the Skoda R5 to the S2000 version for Cyprus. Taking third from Consani. Good technical choice then. Minute 24 behind the leader Kato and 13 seconds ahead of Consani. Dominikas Budvalis, the Lithuanian, with the Subaru Impreza WRX. Nice to see these machines still competing at the highest level. Was third in the ERC2 driver standings. Needs a good result to stay in the running for the ERC2 title, but sadly crashed out in stage 3. David Botka, the Hungarian, in his Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9, second in the ERC2 driver standings, 12 points behind championship leader Wojtek Steif. Went off on the last corner of stage 3, still took the fastest, or the second fastest, I beg your pardon, time, behind Kato, of course. 6 overall, second in the ERC2 driver standings after stage 4. This is Wojtek Steif, the aforementioned, the Czech with the Subaru Impreza STI, ERC2 championship leader, and you can see why. Very nice and smooth, super controlled. On his second rally on gravel, would you believe? He has a small budget, and so that probably adds to the caution on this very tricky mix of gravel and tarmac. Doesn't want to wreck the machine. Well, 15th overall and 5th in the ERC2 classification after stage 4. It was a good run, safe one. Christos Demons Theonis in a Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9, fastest ERC2 driver after stage 4 and 5th in the overall standings. This is how we stack up after stage 4. That's our class. Well, the atmosphere at the service park A as the cars arrived, always nervous. So, how would this ground be made up? So a tense time for everyone, including rally leader number 11, Ketan Kajatanovic. Well, you might say he was a happy man at this time. Nerves, though, have a strange way about them. How's he feeling?
We are leading because we are pushing very hard. I'm not thinking about this. Maybe I must to change my plans.
Is that nervous laughter? Well, the other favourites or contenders for a podium encountering some problems. Here's Bruno.
You will try to fix now. Okay, it's not a big problem, but you know that if you are going to the stage and if you made a spin, you can lose everything because it's not possible to put the car on. So the last stages were a little bit difficult.
Failing starter button, by the way, is the problem. Robert Consani in Citroën DS3 already lost nearly 2 minutes on the leader. His car setup is not good, and he's reporting to his engineer. He says, I think we have a power issue. It affects the chassis behaviour. We're losing traction, but I just can't find out why. We had a spin, we lost the rear brakes, and for us at this moment Cyprus Rally is more about survival than attack and performance, to be honest. And finally, Alexei Lukianuk joining the service park. Lost almost 3 minutes this morning. 8th overall without power steering, remember?
I cannot just imagine how he can manage it on the stages, because it's so hard you cannot even predict.
We are going to change the steering rack. I hope it helps. If not, I don't know what to do.
Well, keep asking Alexei to change gear and action the brakes for you. So it's now up to the mechanics to try and fix the problems. They have 30 minutes to operate. The H Racing team changing the steering rack. Well, the steering rack is connected to the suspension and they have to remove it and hope that the repair will be okay and not too arduous on the mechanics around it. Meanwhile, the team truck Lukyanuk is appreciating what's being done on his behalf.
The power steering still not working, so we expect it to be fixed and to keep running. But
so you may use a bigger steering wheel?
yeah, it will reduce the force on the steering wheel by 10% maybe, not more. So it's almost nothing.
Lukyanuk has 4 stages, almost 50 timed kilometers for the afternoon. It's going to be tough on him. Well, as our helicopter departs, let's do the same, leaving the service park in Nicosia and rejoining the action with Kato leading ahead of Megalesh and Tarabus. It's bright, it's breezy, it's busy. A lot of dusty ground to be covered then. Well, both stages are a repeat from the morning. Approaching the hottest part of the day. Alexei Lukyanuk of Belarus registration, still leading. But steering wheel problems, as you know. Loses 48 seconds on 5, 32 seconds on stage 6. Manages remarkably to keep 8th position overall and 4 minutes down. Robert Consani still losing time because of high engine temperature. Water temperature around 120, by the way, at the end of the stages. So the engine is down on power as a result. Bruno Megalesh, well, starter issue, fixed at the midday service park. He's the best of the rest. Consani 4th overall. Megalesh, well, 4 times second on stages in a row until now. Second on 5 and 6, each time 17 seconds behind the leader. Comfortable second overall was he. Tarabus, 4th best time on stage 5, 3rd on stage 6. Exactly the same time as Megalesh, still 3rd overall, 2 minutes and 41 behind the leader and 13 seconds in front of Consani. This is Estonia's Jeff Jeets. Had a difficult day with a broken rear roll bar and a puncture. 4th on stage 6, just 3 seconds behind Tarabus. He's gaining 1 position. Into the top 10. It's good. David Botka, a good pace for the opening stages of the day, and had gearbox problems on stage 6. Only 1st and 2nd gears at the end, so he did well. Still 6 overall, 2nd in the ERC class. This is Klusak, now in the fight for 6 overall. Botka just 3.6 seconds behind. And Demos Denos, best Cypriot driver overall, one of the local heroes here, now 5th overall, 18 seconds in front of Botka, leading the ERC2 category. Ketan Kejtanovic then still comfortable leader, winning stages 5 and 6. He's won all stages but 1 on this day. Wow. The one he didn't take was stage 1 and just 1.9 seconds behind Lukyanuk, and so his lead just magnifying, 1 minute and 53 over Megalesh. Stay with us for more action from the Rally of Cyprus. Welcome back to the Cyprus Rally. It's the ERC. It's Ketan Kejtanovic holding the lead over Megalesh and Tarabus. Heading off then for the last 2 stages of leg 1. This is Wojtek Steiff in his Subaru Impreza Evo 9. ERC 2 Championship leader. Remember, it's only his second gravel rally.
You know, I always enjoy when I see you in the top of the stage, because it means that another stage is behind us. Here we just need to bring as many points as possible.
15th overall, looking good. This is David Botka in the Mitsubishi Impreza WRX. Was in the fight for 5th at the beginning, but lost time and positions due to a gearbox problem in the afternoon, and it's getting worse. 7th overall.
Gearbox problem, and 1, 2 is ook, and 3 and 4 is no gearbox, and 5.
Sounds like no gears at all. Good effort from the Czech driver Anton Schlustak in the Skoda Fabia S2000, gaining 1 position overall, now 6:30 seconds off a top 5 position. Demos Denos in the Mitsubishi Lancer. Dream day for the Cypriot driver, top 5 overall, 26 seconds behind Consani, was 6 overall last year on his home rally, and leading ERC 2 class after Botka's gearbox problems. He's in a happy place.
This stage is very good. I like. Happy. Everything is okay.
Okay with us as well, Mr. Demos Denos. Robert Consani in the Citroën DS3 suffered heating problems, loss of power all day long. Well, the setup of the car still not to his liking. Pace notes, well, okay, after the first day with his new co-driver, Belgian Lara Van Est. She's a class act and in demand, you can imagine. 4th overall, would like a podium here, would Robert.
Problem is not fixed. In the car you feel you miss a lot of power, and it's difficult to drive in this condition.
Meanwhile, 3rd overall behind Ketan Kejatanovic, and indeed behind Megalesh as well, Jaromir Tarabus, the Czech, with his Fabia S2000. Had an unusual problem in the morning when a spare wheel moved and stopped the fan for the rear diff. Generally though, enjoying his day.
Yeah, we are happy. Everything is okay, and this stage after the start is a wide road and tarmac wide road. Fast, but finish is really nice gravel and perfect. Enjoy it.
Bruno Megalesh, a solid 2nd overall, 50 seconds in front of Tarabus. Remember, his engine starter issue in the morning. Well, it was fixed at the midday service. Also adopted a softer suspension setup for the afternoon loop, which proved to be a good choice. As with the other drivers, didn't enjoy the dust, but on this section, well, clear vision and clearly very, very quick. Alexei Lukyanuk in the Ford Fiesta R5, 95 timed kilometers on the day without power steering. It was quite a workout, but not a welcome one. An exhausting but remarkable job. He'd elected to start 15th on the road, a gamble to make up time differences in the stages. But this challenge was over after stage 2. How hard is that on the man?
Левый 1.30, правый 2, минус 50.
I hope we will be able to fix something, but in the beginning of the 2nd loop we understand that we should go through the whole day without power steering. I hope we will have something left for tomorrow.
Well, he'll have bigger muscles, that's for sure. Well, this is the rally leader on the particular super special stage, Nicosia City. Last stage of the day, 23% of gravel. in the UN buffer zone, incidentally, near the border with the Turkish part of Cyprus. Once again, stage win for Keita, 7th of the day. Even in difficult conditions with mixed road surfaces, it's a perfect day for Keita. He's looking very good in the European Rally Championship. Throw anything at this man and he'll drive through it.
Second part is absolutely slippery. It's like driving on ice. Amazing. But general, we are really happy. We won the stage. Really good.
He is really good. Just check the gap. More than 2 minutes. Well, tomorrow there'll be another 8 stages, don't forget. The weather will be the same. Hot, dry, very, very nice to watch some rallying. Well, also some good news for Alexei Lukyanuk. Finally, the team managed to fix the power steering problem during service this evening. Alexei will be fighting hard tomorrow from 8th place, trying to gain positions, of course. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Brandeis, the 2015 European Rally Championship, and we head to Nicosia, the heart of Cyprus, for the Cyprus Rally. Challenging rally for the drivers. It's about a 60-40 gravel and tarmac split, but only gravel tyres are allowed on the event. The tarmac sections will therefore be tricky on cut tyres and tarmac gravel suspension. Cyprus, the 3rd largest island in the Mediterranean, is a tourist hotspot with vast cultural heritage dating back to ancient times. It lies south of Turkey and west of the Syrian-Lebanese coast. Cyprus Rally, now 45 years old, has been part of the European and World Rally Championship, then the IRC, and back into ERC. Capital of Nicosia is the base for the rally. Leg 1 started for Russia's Alexei Lukyanuk. Victory on the first stage. But by the end of it, he was out of power steering. Driving without power steering all day. Co-driver working the handbrake as well. He dropped back to 8th position. With forearms pumped up. Would need a lot of physio after the day's activities. Championship leader from Poland, Kajtanovic, also in a Ford Fiesta R5 from M Sport, winning all but that first stage on leg 1. After Lukyanuk's challenge faded with the lack of power steering, Pole was able to meter his pace and go into a comfortable overnight lead. Bruno Magalhães of Portugal in the 2:08.216, showing just how dusty it is in this stage, even at 2-minute start intervals. Having to be a little cautious in the dust behind the leader. 2nd place after leg 1, 2 minutes 17 behind. And Jaromir Tarabus of the Czech Republic in the Skoda, using the Super 2000 Skoda for the first time here in Cyprus. 3rd after leg 1, 3 minutes 7 behind the leader. After his phenomenal shunt last time out, a lately finished DS3R5 for Robert Consigny. New co-driver as well, Lara van Est. They had a big spin on stage 3. Lying 4th overall after leg 1, just 11 seconds behind podium sitter Tarabus in the Skoda. So one set of battle lines clearly demarcated. And the leading Cypriot driver in 6th position. Part of the Cypriot and Middle Eastern Rally Championship for many years, as well as European and World Championship. Kajtanovic then leading the absent Craig Breen by 30 seconds, by 30 points rather, after leg 1. Heading into day 2, and quelle surprise, even in October, it is in the 70s in Cyprus, so another hot, dry and dusty day. 8 fast stages for leg 2, 2 runs through the loop. Back to the capital Nicosia, which will be sweltering in 35-degree plus temperatures all day long. It won't be much cooler out on the stages either. So the first loop, stage 12 rerun is stage 16, the only full gravel rally stage of the event. First car through at 9:15 local time. Already hot and sweaty in the cars. After his travails with the power steering on the first day, Russia's Alexei Lukanyuk, a happy man to have full power steering restored on the Fiesta. Problems again on the second stage of the day, this time with the anti-roll bar. However, he still picked up 3 spots, going from 8th to 5th position. Russian rallies under a Belarus license, producing some star turns this series. Classic Cypriot back roads producing plenty of spectacle for all the drivers. Bruno Magalhaes in the 208-216. No reliability problems or mechanical woes for him with the car so far. Very dusty inside the car though. You can see the fine mist of dust building up inside. Turns out that he was using the heating system to try and blow air through the car, and unfortunately that was bringing in all of that dust as well. Eventually worked out that having the heating off was a better idea. Not like it was cold. Jaromir Tarabus in the Skoda. Wild ride on the first part of the day, losing 3rd place overall. Fortunate in the flat open and fast stage, plenty of opportunity to avert disaster. That's been a little bit of a buttock clench though as that telegraph pole approached at ridiculous speed. Robert Consani with Lara Van Est alongside. Consani's car was working on suspension, or his team working on suspension set up on the car during the recce and the qualifying stage. More suspension work again after day 1. Much better feeling with the car, allowing him to really push on hard, as you can see here. Very quick stages indeed, and he moved up into 3rd spot ahead of Jaromir Tarabus. And as for our rally and championship leader, Kajtan Kajtanovic of Poland, another 2 stage wins in the morning, pacing himself nicely and heading for his 2nd win of the season. Just check out the speeds on the right-hand side. These narrow, single-lane gravel roads. Top Cypriot was Christos Demoustanos in his Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9, 6th overall at the overnight halt, and leading the ERC 2 category. Of course, this is where we first saw Alexei Lukanyuk in his Mitsubishi Lancer, with Hungary's David Botka, 7th overall, and chasing Demosthenes, 2nd in ERC2. And unlike the Cypriot, one of the championship's regulars in the ERC2 category. As Kaitanovic continued to ease away, Magalhaes in 2nd place, a minute ahead of Consony. Perhaps a little concern at the Frenchman's speed in the first part of the day. Demosthenes leading the Cypriot hordes in 6th position and ahead of Botka in WRC2 as well. More to come from Rally Cyprus. Stay with us. Rally Cyprus round 8 of the European Rally Championship. We're in day 2, halfway through the first stages, and our points leader, Kaitanovic, has the lead of the event overnight and after stage 10. Bruno Magalhaes just about 3 minutes behind, and a minute behind him is Frenchman Robert Conseny. Well, in its 5th decade, Rally Cyprus draws bigger and bigger crowds every year. After the European Rally Championship, up to coefficient 20 status for many years, then drafted into the World Rally Championship, back with IRC and ERC in recent years, part of the Middle Eastern Rally Championship as well. Alexei Lukyanuk here on stage 11. Stage is much quicker in this year's layout of Rally Cyprus. Drivers really enjoying them.
Направо 1, на трамплин, направо 2, очень длинный, с прыжком, 40 левый 7.
Second fastest through the stage, dropping 5.7 seconds to Kaitanovic. Little problems in the car, hanging on to 5th place overall.
Направо 3+. 100 прямо. 4+. 4+ был вот этот. Левый 3, на правый 2 через трамплин длинный. 30, левый 4 минус. 40, левый 2, 100 прямо. Левый 3+ поздний, 30, правый 4 с трамплина, КД. На левый 3 резать, на правый 5+ за трамплин.
We're building our speed step by step. We try to do our best. I don't know if it will be enough. We have again some problems with the car. Roll bar in the back is missing, and so we will see.
A smile on his face, Lukyanuk, and learning the new Ford Fiesta R5 very quickly. Jaromir Tarabus also learning in a brand new car, Super 2000 Skoda Fabia for him. Lost time with a puncture in stage 11. Jaromir Tarabus, 4th overall. Lukyanuk closing. He was overhauled on the first stage of the day by Robert Conseny. Engine water temperatures not quite as high as day 1, but still causing him to lose power. 3rd place, but having to push hard. Concerned perhaps about the speed of Russia's Alexei Lukyanuk. Just gets away with that slightly trepidatious landing. Bruno Magalhaes losing a little bit of time, keeping 2nd place overall in the Peugeot 208 T16. Not quite as dusty in the car as outside, but still has problems with that. Rear of the car too soft, causing him a lot of handling issues on the fast stages. Look at the dashboard, look at the layer of silt inside the car. Again with Kaitanovic. The helicopter captures his big moment of the stage, 800 meters into the stage, finds a big rock and very nearly rolls. Clatters into the bottom of the car and affects the power steering. He has to control all delete during the stage. Co-driver trying to turn the engine off on the fast sections, restart the car, They have to do that 3 times before he gets the electric power steering back.
You have to stop the engine if you want to reset this problem with power steering. Alexei had a bigger problem yesterday, and I enjoy the stages. It happens, yeah.
Not enough to cost him his lead. The gap goes out from 2 minutes 59 to 3:14 over Magalhães. Consonny in 3rd place, still a minute behind the Portuguese, and the concern there might be from the Russian. Lukianiuk having a good run, and Christos Demoustanos still leading the Cypriot contingent. Beautiful views from Troodos, the heart of the island, and over the capital Nicosia for lunchtime service. Very, very hot in the centre of Cyprus, but at least they're out in the fresh air instead of in the stultifying heat of the cockpit of the car. Bruno Magalhães in 2nd place has finally solved his dust problem.
It's very difficult to drive, and in the first stages I tried to put the heater on to avoid the over temperature in the car, but with the heater on there come more dust inside, and after 2 stages I realized that, and after I don't put on and everything is a little bit better.
Well, to explain that, if the car's overheating, you turn the heater on, it's like another radiator, helps cool things down. 3rd place, Robert Consonny. Co-driver Lara Vanessa said, well, we're not being negative and thinking about Lukianiuk coming from behind, thinking what's he doing? I'm just trying to help Robert keep his motivation and push on, look in front and try and hang on to this 3rd place by going quickly. Well, Alexei Lukianiuk could well be a challenge. He's picked up 3 places in the morning loop. He wants to continue despite worries about the rear end of the car not doing quite what he wants. And as for our championship leader, well, after the steering issue and a bruise with the wall, everything is a-okay. Left rear suspension was fine. New rear bumper required as he heads out for the afternoon loop of stages, the final fling for Rally Cyprus 2015. Kajtanovic 3¼ minutes in front. Consonny, Tarabus and Lukianiuk, effectively Consonny and Lukianiuk, battling for the final podium spot. And even the locals are feeling it's a bit of a warm afternoon. Bruno Magalhães, 3rd here last year, having to turn off the heater, risk overheating just so that he can see. No dust in the cockpit. Problem as bad for the co-driver. With the air full of dust, it's hard to call the notes and to breathe properly. Driving with the door open on road sections to try and clear the air in the car. Bruno's co-driver also struggling with visibility. Eyes full of dust. See on the road section, trying to use a little bit of airflow to suck the dirt out of the air in the car. David Botka pushing on in ERC2. Mitsubishi's enjoying these fast stages as well, and in fact he pulls in front of Christos Demoustanos on stage 13 to lead the ERC2 category and sit in 6th place overall. So Kajtanovic extending his advantage to nearly 4 minutes. Consonny in 3rd, 1.25 minutes ahead of Lukianiuk. Demoustanos shoved down to 7th place as Botka moves up the order. Sava closing up behind Demoustanos as well, the 2nd of our Cypriot crews. 2 stages left to decide the positions in Rally Cyprus. Join us. Welcome back to Rally Cyprus Round 8 of the European Rally Championship. Before we get to the denouement of the event, let's take a look at the ERC2 category. Just outside the top 5, there's a ferocious battle for the lead. Hungary's David Botka in the Evo 9 Mitsubishi Lancer, claiming his second ERC2 victory in a row, but post-rally, he gets a 2-minute penalty because he's used 20 tyres instead of the mandated 18. Seems he understood the regulations incorrectly. He thought the qualifying stage didn't count for tyre usage, but in fact it does. So he's dropped to second in ERC2 and down to 8th place overall. And that hands victory in the category and top Cypriot position to Christos Demoustanos in his Evo 9 Lancer. He won the category last year too. Demoustanos currently Cyprus's top rally driver. Cypriots have always fared well on their home rally. Demoustanos ending up on top in ERC2. Wojciech Staff in the Subaru Impreza, Czech driver, third in ERC2, still leads the drivers' standings, 4 points ahead of Botka. And of course, with Demoustanos not being a regular, he doesn't take points in the championship away from our contenders. Staff 5 ahead of Botka. Butvilas, Lithuanian, not here this weekend. It is fast developing into a 2-horse race for ERC2. So then, final 2 stages of the 2015 Rally Cyprus. You can see why rallying has been such a big part of motorsport on this Mediterranean island. Lots and lots of very suitable roads. It started off with expats and servicemen from the UK. In the early 1960s, events were more regularity then on what were very rocky roads, but it soon reached the ultimate accolade of being a European Rally Championship event, up to coefficient 20, the top, and then moving up to World Rally. Alexei Lukianyuk, lots of issues with the car this weekend, hoping to attack for the podium. Spin costing him more time. High-speed spin in stage 16. Third in the championship, 17 points behind Craig Breen.
You know, on this stage we found new problem in the car. The rear shock is dead. So it is maximum what possible, I think. But finally we're moving, so it's the main idea. It's a positive weekend anyway. Good learning curve for us in tough conditions. Okay, sometimes it happens.
It's rallying, as they say. Jaromir Tarabus, the Czech driver in the Skoda Fabia, picked up another puncture. He had hoped for a podium after day one, but Robert Consonny fought back. However, Tarabus still in 4th place overall. Consonny 3rd on the podium despite last problem in stage 16. Final 10 kilometres without the left rear. Pretty much on a rim. So, big result for him and Lara Van Es, their first rally together, their first podium together. And thoughts of his late friend Jules Bianchi.
More Czech rallies then. New co-driver, still problems this weekend.
On a continué à pousser tous les virages que je prenais à droite.
Well, we continued to push all the way through all the corners despite the problem. And the right-handers were really difficult. The car was sliding so much, tyres completely gone. Yesterday I was just thinking a lot of Jules. From wherever he is now, I think he helped me a lot. So, Jules, I'm thinking of you. Good weekend for Bruno Magalhaes. Lots of dust problems in the car. He eventually traced those. With issues though for Lukianyuk and Consigny's car overheating. He was a comfortable second place overall. Nearly 4.5 minutes behind the leader, but right in the middle of the podium.
I think to the mechanics, they made a fantastic job, the mechanics. One more time we finished the rally with this car. Okay, sometimes little problems, but you are all the time in the finish, it's perfect. And congratulations to Hugo, because they made a fantastic job as well. So we are very, very happy.
So Kaito Kaitanovic then, our championship leader and our rally leader, focuses on victory here in Cyprus. And a great run for him. His second win of the season. His first victory in the Jana Rally. Could hardly be more different, could it?
7 prawy szczytem torem I mocno skamuj 90.
Fantastyczny rajd dla nas, nie mogę w to uwierzyć.
Fantastic rally for us, says Kaito. Still can't believe it. Really pushing, even in the last stage. So quick. Just don't know what to say.
Nie mogę w to uwierzyć.
It's bloody good, he says.
Fantastycznie spisał się.
Car was fantastic right from the start. So thanks to my guys, thanks to M Sport, they worked so hard.
Jak zwykle nasz team pracował znakomicie.
Thank you everybody again. Love you all.
Kocham ich za to, jak ciężko pracują.
Difficult rally.
Ciężki rajd. Trudna robota, ale też
fun,
bardzo dobra.
fast.
Dziękuję bardzo.
And thanks to everybody who helped. So Kaitanovic comes out on top, Magalesh and Consigny on the podium, and in the end Lukjaniuk's woes with the Fiesta R5 didn't prevent him from rounding out the top 5. Christos Demoustanos winning ERC2 and the top Cypriot contender on the event, and the ERC3 category went to Dimi Morozov, another Cypriot born in Moscow, the 42-year-old. He won it in his Suzuki Swift. So second win of the season for Kaitanovic, increasing his Drivers' Championship lead. That smile he sends is only going to get bigger as the season nears its conclusion. Craig Breen not here this weekend, remains in second, Lukjaniuk in third, Consigny and Magalesh in a battle for 4 spots. And Kaito 62 points ahead. Unless he retires from the championship, it looks all but done and dusted. Colin McRae flat-out trophy awarded to the perma-smiling Alexei Lukjaniuk. Leg 1, no power steering. Leg 2, all sorts of suspension and overheating issues. But like Colin, he kept fighting on flat out. So to the ceremonial finish in the coastal resort of Larnaca. Consigny, Magalesh and winner Kaitanovic. Now definitely time after a long hot rally for a Kio beer and a chill. Well, the temperature's not going to drop much after Cyprus. They head next to the ultimate car breaker, the Sea-Jets Acropolis Rally. You can see all the action on Eurosport.